Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse Report. We are recapping the week's nerdy news from this year into next year into gone completely everywhere in between. That'll make sense shortly. My name is Mike Gibson. With me as always is Steve Haller. What's up, Steve?
So I don't know your reference, but I'm assuming it may be any sort of news coming out because it's all gone completely, it seems.
It is going away slowly. I said this last week.
And
even
then
though last week we ended up talking for over an hour. But this is a very light week, and there's even less on the rundown this week than there was last week. Let's see if we can go for 2 hours on even less.
Yeah, less news means more talking for some
I had
ungodly reason.
I had somebody telling me that they were listening to last week's episode and had to do a double take when they heard me say it's probably going to be a short episode and look down at their phone and be like, why? It's over an hour. It's an hour and 20 minutes. Why is it short?
Yeah, if you saw our rundown, like our set list effectively,
yeah,
it's pretty light. Last week's was also pretty light. So we're with the strike, we're entering our jam band phase where you get the set list and it's kind of a framework and you just kind of
go
around.
You go. The tangents are fun. I've heard a number of people have told us that they enjoy us tangenting just as much or even more than they enjoy us actually giving the facts about what's going on. So I guess that's good. But I feel like as the news continues to shrink and shrink, there'll be less to prompt a tangent.
Right.
And you and I still have to have a convo about maybe some spin-offs or other series that we can do in the meantime when there's not much nerd news to go around. But for now, there's a few things to talk about.
Indeed.
And welcome to it. This show is sponsored, as always, by Funky Town Comics in Camillus, New York. Check them out. They just had a big sale, big Labor Day weekend sale. If you missed out, that's a big bummer. All was it back issues under $5 were $1. Back issues over $5 were 50% off. All records were 50% off. Graphic novels were 50% off. I spent a good amount of money. I could have spent way more, and I actually feel like I showed some restraint despite buying a bunch of stuff. I actually posted about what I got. You can look at our Instagram page and see all my lovely finds.
Yeah, that's the Multiverse Report on Instagram. Check us out.
Check us out there.
I unfortunately missed the sale because I just got back about 2 hours ago from New Hampshire, so it's been a nice day of driving all day. So
feeling tired?
No, not at all.
Ready for a 2.5 hour episode?
Yeah, what the hell? we'll just fire at will. We're ready to go.
The moment if either of us mention Star Wars, let's just jump on it and go until we
hop on the train.
Never look back.
Yep.
As always, starting off with some strike watch updates. The strikes are still going strong. A couple updates. Disney visual effects workers are also voting to unionize in joining specifically Marvel's VFX workers now on the Disney side of things. Same boat, voting to unionize. Great. Love it. Love to see it. Also, SAG-AFTRA members have voted to allow video game actors to join the strike as well. So these are like voiceover actors that do video game work. Sometimes those actors are also the same ones that do like motion capture for the characters. I'm sure that some of those actors are also just in SAG-AFTRA for like the screen actors side of things as well. But if you're just a video game actor, you are now able to vote to go on strike. I don't know all the ins and outs of that stuff, but seems like this just keeps happening and is spreading like wildfire more than the studios and CEOs wanted to happen, for sure. I think they wanted to. I don't think the studios were prepared for this level of solidarity, and I think they were kind of looking at things with outdated eyes, as
100%.
most billionaires do, out of touch
I was going to say,
eyes.
see what these studios normally do on a regular basis.
Yeah, exactly.
What they produce, what they like. What was it? After the Barbie movie, we found out that they want to just run movies based on Mattel
let's
toys.
make a bunch of toys.
And
yeah, Polly Pocket movie they announced.
Right, and it's like,
Great.
come on, guys, could you be more out of touch?
Yeah.
Is
Did you
possible?
see the Barbie movie? No. That's
was
not
the Barbie movie about Barbie?
Yeah.
So
this is a tangent. Did you ever see Barbie?
no, I have not yet.
You haven't seen it? Okay, then I won't say it because it's a spoiler for the end of the movie.
It's gonna be until it comes out and whatever. So I'm not too worried.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. A friend of mine said like the one thing I wish was different about it, and he said something that was like, it would have ruined the movie for me. I was like, are you joking? That's like insane that you would want that to happen. Anyway, I felt everyone's entitled to their own opinion, of course. But also, I actually didn't even write this, but I'm just thinking of it right now that I think it was Disney is hiring like an emergency PR team to like help them because they're taking like Iger's taking so much shit about what he said early on about, the strikes are disruptive and happening at a bad time and all this kind of like not supportive stuff. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have said that shit.
Right.
And I read a headline that said that they're seeking a PR position that pays like $300,000 a year. Oh, so you have $300,000 a year to pay for an emergency PR team. Maybe you should give some of that money to your striking writers and actors that are asking for money.
Why would they do that, Mike? Come on.
Why would they do that? Maybe so they don't have to hire an emergency PR team and they could just fix it.
That'd be
just fix it.
I do
also,
at the same time have to laugh though because like random scuttlebutt was like I've heard from various people like, oh, Disney's failing. I'm like, yeah, they're failing their way to $1 billion profits every year. Like Disney's not failing.
Yeah,
they're just like, are they completely out of touch? Yes. Are people still watching their stuff? Yes. But come on.
Yeah, I mean they've certainly gotten more bad press between this and the stuff that Bob Chapek was doing before Iger came back. Like, has brought Disney the most bad press they've gotten in the last 25 years. I feel like
yeah, and they're still
like
the biggest entertainment company in the world, hands down.
Yeah, and they're going to be fine. Like they're not. No one's not. That's like anytime, someone doesn't like a Star Wars movie, they're like, "Oh, Lucasfilm is over. Star Wars is over. This movie's terrible." It's like just because you didn't like it, man. Like Disney's gonna be fine. Disney's weathering the storm.
It only made
$150
million. It didn't quite make $1 billion. Oh shucks.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, it's a bomb.
Yeah,
whatever. Okay. Yeah, Disney's gonna be fine. Star Wars is gonna be fine. Marvel is gonna be fine. Like these properties aren't going anywhere. But they are being delayed. More on that momentarily. But one last thing I want to say is I also saw a video of Adam Driver, I guess, has a new indie movie coming out. And it wasn't A24, but it was another one of these smaller studios that has already like made a deal with the unions saying just like, yep, we'll greet all your demands. We'll do anything that you want to do. Like studios can do that. They can make their own deals if they want.
Like we talked about the A24 thing a couple weeks ago where they were just like, yeah, we'll agree to everything you're saying. Like, sure, that seems reasonable.
So if you're an actor on one of those projects, you are still able to film and to promote those movies. Adam Driver was promoting one of those movies, and somebody asked him something, and I don't think they even asked him about the strike, but he just started talking about it immediately, which I feel like if you are an actor that is able to be in front of a microphone and to do promotion, like you should really be throwing a lot of attention to the strike in every word out of your mouth. And he did, and he made a great point in saying that, why is it that a small independent studio like this can make a deal, but big billionaire companies like Amazon and Netflix can't? Like, it's not money. It's not money. It's greed. It's all greed is all it is. Tell me Jeff Bezos can't make a deal, but A24 can make a deal? Like, come on. You can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
Greedy billionaire idiots. And the strike. Anyway, Steve, my intro of this year to next year and gone completely was in reference to the following story, our top story for this podcast. And what I just referenced a moment ago, Marvel has officially delayed several of their Disney Plus shows that were supposed to come out this year, have been moved to next year. I don't think they specifically said why this is happening, but I gotta believe it's what we've been talking about. It's got to be strike. Was it last week or the week before? We're talking about how Warner Brothers is moving a bunch, like moved Dune to March, which is an insane, stupid thing to do. We're all excited to see Dune now.
Yeah, I can't comprehend the Dune thing, especially with the hype train that's been riding up to it.
Yes.
That said, I mean, we're confused about them moving Dune because of the hype train. And when you look at what Marvel did, the things that had the hype train behind them didn't get moved. Well, I guess one thing that had a hype train around it got moved, but everything else, Loki, it did not move.
Yes, Loki is staying. Loki's still coming out October 6th, and they're saying that the What If Season 2, I guess, is still coming out in late December, possibly Christmas Day, they're saying. But what has moved? Echo, the series that was supposed to come out in late November and was going to drop all at once, and reportedly being dropped all at once because it is bad. I mean, that remains to be seen. Again, they put out Secret Invasion weekly. How bad can Echo possibly be? Because Secret Invasion sucked.
Yes.
Sucked. So, I still have hopes for Echo. It could be good. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm going to wait and see.
No, Secret Invasion as a show was horrible. I will still give Kingsley Ben-Adir credit for what the hell he was doing, because he was
great. Oh, yeah, no, he was great.
But, yeah, as a series, it was just hot garbage.
I agree. But it is being moved, possibly, if it is bad, possibly a good move, it's being moved to January 24th. And we all know that January is often a dumping ground for movies. I mean, I guess shows too, but mostly it's looked at when a movie comes out in January, the studio doesn't have a ton of faith in it. No one really goes to the movies in January. So January is kind of looked at as a dumping ground for garbage films. So hopefully that's not a dash against Echo, but, you know, signs are pointing to it not being that great.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, we thought, remember back in the day, we thought that Sony was moving Morbius out of January because they thought it was good.
Yeah.
And then we got what we got. So
yeah, that's true.
I've given up on like trying to figure out whether something's good by when they're releasing it.
Yeah.
Because April, that's fine. That's a normal, like, things get released in April.
Yeah. April's an okay month.
Yeah.
It's not blockbuster season quite yet, but it's, you know, getting there. We're getting there.
Right. You don't have the Jaws effect, but what does?
Yeah. Also, Agatha, Darkhold Diaries. Remember that show?
No.
Wait, or do you remember when it was? Maybe you're thinking of Agatha, Coven of Chaos.
Oh, I remember that show.
Or are you thinking of Agatha, House of Harkness?
I also remember that show.
This is the third time, third name that this show has had. They keep changing the name of this show.
All of them seem to suck.
None of them are good.
No.
I think Coven of Chaos is probably the best one.
Or like drop the Agatha and just go with Darkhold Diaries, because the Darkhold has many more things than Harkness involved. And
yeah. I think we talked about this recently. Like, who's excited about this show? I don't know. Besides the fact that Aubrey Plaza is in it, I don't care about this show at all. I like her a lot. I'll watch anything that she's in. But like,
right, you have Catherine Hahn and you have Aubrey Plaza, and they're both going to do good things.
Yeah,
but
true. Yeah, they're both great actors. But like, this is a show that was greenlit based on the memification of one song from one episode of WandaVision that came out 5 years ago. Like,
wait, are you talking about billionaire various like studios being out of touch with things?
Yeah.
Huh, weird. Did we already just cover that? Okay.
This is, I mean, hey, maybe the show will come out. Maybe I'll love it. Maybe it's like a spooky dark magic thing that I'm into when it comes to, I love dark magic and superheroes. I love that stuff. So if it's good, great. But this is like peak Marvel throwing shit at the wall to see if it sticks to me. It is, and you know, and just misreading what people are wanting or needing. Like, this just seems like it's going to be such a nothing thing. But hey, again, I could be wrong. Anyway, it was supposed to come out this winter. Now it's moved to fall 24. So almost an entire year this show has been moved.
Well, and I guess
feel like,
does that mean this is Aubrey Plaza taking the Samuel L. Jackson route of getting a paycheck and calling it a day?
I don't know, maybe. Like, why? Like, I feel like this show has been made or done for being worked on for a long time. They announced it right after WandaVision was over.
Yeah.
And now it's been so long. And now it's going to be even longer. Like, who cares? Who cares about this character that we haven't seen? It just goes back to all that stuff that we talked about before, like Marvel just spinning too many plates and there's just no connectivity. It just feels like it's, we don't even know who to care about or why to care about them because we don't know who's moving forward and when they're coming next. And it's just too much, Marvel. Anyway, we're not getting that. Whatever. There's plenty of time for them to come up with new names for this show. It's coming out in fall of 2024. Also, Steve, your heart is going to break, my friend. The animated revival of the X-Men series, X-Men 97, has been moved from fall 2023 to early 2024. No date yet. So it's supposed to come out this fall. Not a huge move, just a little bit further. I think this has got to be a content spreading out thing because they're still talking about how season 2 is going to happen. They're already working on a season 2 for this show. So.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Bodemayo has come out and said numerous times like things are done and they're ready.
Yeah.
And they're already working on season 2 and things are going and it's just why? Come on. Like,
I don't know. So I don't think this is a quality issue. It's not a quality issue.
Right.
But
this is the Dune effect.
Yeah. Yes, I think so. Ironheart, a show that they announced a very long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
We met the main character in Wakanda Forever. It's been removed from the schedule completely removed from the schedule. It has finished shooting and has been done for a while, I guess, but post-production has been delayed because of the strikes. They can't finish what they need to do.
Yep.
For post-production, whether that be reshoots, and I know like the VFX people are starting to unionize, so like that's probably putting a wrench in things as well. So I think we'll probably still see this show, especially if they're done making it. I mean,
they were done.
If it was Warner Brothers, it would be up in the air.
Yeah,
but it's Disney, so assumedly that we'll actually see it sometime. But I think there was no point in them giving it a new date if they don't know when they're actually going to get back to work to finish it.
There was a rumor tossed around that they were going to delay it based on what they were going to do with Armor Wars.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sure those are semi-tied together or should be.
Right. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Also, Daredevil, Born Again, and Wonder Man are also dated again due to the strikes because they were not done filming, and you can't film anything when the actors are striking. So yeah, the only Marvel show we're gonna get for the rest of this year is Loki season 2, and possibly What If, but that's an animated thing that
And
who knows how canonical that'll be.
Right, and it's supposed to be like the last week of the year, anyways. So
yeah, right. So.
And Loki, they dropped another teaser this week. So
they did? I missed that.
I think it was like yesterday or something. They put a little. It wasn't anything crazy, and I clicked off it quick after I saw how long it was or whatever. Just to I'm taking the Mike approach of, all right, we're close enough. I'm not watching things.
Yeah, I saw one trailer. Like, I don't need to watch TV spots and stuff. Like,
right, the one trailer made it so that I know I want to see it. So I'm going to see it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, weird. In a year where we were supposed to get like I think 4, maybe 5 Marvel shows. I think because Echo was supposed to come out this year. Agatha was supposed to come out this year. If you count X-Men 97, that's 3. Plus Ironheart, I think was supposed to come out this year too.
Right.
Plus Secret Invasion and Loki. That was gonna be like 6 or 7 Marvel shows. Now we got 2.
God that they're spreading them out.
Yeah.
Because they're unintentionally, the strike is doing what we want them to do.
It really is. Yes, it really is. But I worry that, we're not the only ones talking about how the connectivity feels loose.
Yeah.
and doesn't feel as strong, and there's not as much of a motivation from people to keep up with everything, how much more is that gonna falter when everything is like super stretched out? And like,
I mean,
I
maybe
think
that
we were,
helps
I
it.
think we were, I know what you're saying, and I think we were probably gonna get delays anyway because
Yeah.
of things Bob Iger was saying about like cost cutting and like diluting the brand before the strikes happened. But
Mhm.
like now, they're not even in control of how long it takes for them to put these things out. And like, I'm in a place where I'm starting to, it's starting to be hard for me to care about these projects like Agatha, whatever, and Ironheart, like the Disney Plus stuff. So far, there's only been a few shows that have felt like crucial to me
Yeah.
and
And they were the first two they put out.
interesting. Well, yeah. Or like interesting enough because they introduce a new character. Like I loved She-Hulk, or like, um, like WandaVision felt crucial to like the thrust of those characters, like moving forward those characters, like things like that. But
Right.
like a lot of these, like Secret Invasion, Falcon Winter Soldier, they just seem like,
I mean, WandaVision
okay,
and Loki were the only two that really had something behind it. Falcon and Winter
yeah,
Soldier, yes, that's set up where Bucky's going, and Falcon
yeah. I
getting
mean,
the
you get the
shield,
like
and
that's the transition for Sam to become Captain America. Like,
right.
so I guess that makes sense. But like, these aren't things that I'm ever gonna like revisit or whatever. I don't know. They just seem lesser. And if that's all we're getting, and we're getting that stretched out more, then just this feeling of like, I don't know who to care about or what to care about, or the connectivity thing, like, this is going to get worse. It's going to
Now,
get worse if it takes so much longer to get to an Avengers movie or like a team up movie or something where we will have to know what the thrust is,
now you want the weird thing?
Yeah,
Everybody
always.
pines for Marvel to make movies more, or shows more comic accurate. We're
Yeah.
100% in the comic accurate phase, where, oh, we had this killer
Yeah.
run. We're gonna have a couple down years here before we get the the run back to peak.
I remember thinking that during like phase 2 or 3, like,
Yeah, we're an
everyone's
onslaught,
saying
man.
like everyone's like, this is great, that makes the movies feel like the comics. And I was like, yeah, it does, and I love it. But what if it really does feel like the comics and things get too crazy to keep up with?
Yep.
And I think we're already there.
Oh yeah,
We're already there.
We're in that stretch where, as the X-Men guy here, we're in that
Yeah.
stretch where you have 7 titles running at once, and you're
Yep.
just like, all right, I'm cutting my pull. I'm done.
Too much.
I'm gonna pick up a trade at some point. That's it. I'll get a recap. It's fine. And then when they bring it back down, I'll start again.
Yeah,
And that's the phase we're at now.
This tight connectivity that they it's like a bed they made for themselves.
Yep.
Is now the thing that is weighing them down. Because it's because like, even somebody like me who like, I would love it to be less connected, but I am also, 2 minutes ago I was just saying like the connectivity is too loose and we don't know what to care about,
Right.
and everything feels like whatever. And it's because like they still are doing things that make you think there's going to be connectivity to something else, and then they never kind of tell you what that something else is.
Right.
Like they seem like, ooh, that seems like a big deal, and then we just never see it again. We never hear about it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's a bed of their own making, and it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see how long they can stay in it.
Yeah.
Speaking of how long things are, we got an unconfirmed report of the runtime for the next theatrical Marvel release, MCU release, The Marvels, sequel to Captain Marvel, sequel to kind of WandaVision, and sequel to Ms. Marvel, the Disney Plus show. Has those 3 characters teaming up, and this unconfirmed report, it was confirmed by like 2 like Twitter scoopers that I've seen their names a few times, but they both released the same information.
Yeah.
So it's being reported that The Marvels is only, with credits, an hour and 38 minutes long, which would make it the shortest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if this is accurate. I love this.
I'm torn. I love this
okay.
I love this if it's because they're cutting it to make a tight and good movie.
Yes, I love it if it's good.
Right.
I love it if it's good.
I
Yes.
don't love it if it's that short just because they couldn't come up with shit and they're just tossing it out there to toss it out there.
100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree.
When you hear a 138 runtime, you're talking like, and this is modern cinema, not like historic or anything.
Sure.
But modern cinema, you're talking a 138 runtime. You're talking like a kid's movie.
Yeah, or like a comedy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at this point, The Incredible Hulk is the shortest Marvel film at 152. Yeah, that's a movie people don't even think exists.
Yeah. I will go to bat. I will go to bat.
Yeah, I think both of us are on the same page there. The Ed Norton Incredible Hulk was solid.
That's higher up on my list, I think, than it probably is on a lot of people's rankings of the MCU. Yeah.
That as we're getting into short season here, we should probably revisit that ranking between the two of us.
Yeah, you're right. That's not a bad episode idea. That could start some fights.
Oh,
not between you and me, but like for people listening.
Yeah. The Incredible Hulk, not to be confused with the Hulk, which was a hot trash movie. The Ang Lee and Eric Bana.
Oh, it's just Hulk. It's not even the. It's just Hulk.
So I forgot that because that was literally the only movie I've walked out of the theater during.
Whoa! You walked out during a Hulk?
Yes.
Wow.
It was like it might have been like 45 minutes in, and I was just like, I can't do this.
45 minutes in, you may not have even seen him turn into the Hulk.
I may not have. Like,
because that takes a long time in that movie.
I remember my sister and I went down to at the time Riverside Mall in Utica, which is no longer a mall nor named Riverside. But like we went down to watch it, and both of us were like, I don't know why we're here.
Wow.
We're leaving.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that.
I saw a couple of people recently online praising that film.
Okay.
And I've had the thought that I hadn't seen it in a very long time. I used to that was one of the movie when it came out. I wanted to like it so much that I kind of told myself that I liked it. And then after a while, I was like,
on the Hulk in so long. It was like, we need to like this movie. And then and then I kind of realized I didn't like it as much as I thought I did. Yeah.
But now I'm a good deal older, and I know what it is enough to go in and not be like thrown because it doesn't meet my superhero movie expectations, like it's more of like a meditative movie about kind of like the human experience or something more than it is like a smashy green monster movie.
Right.
And it has parts of that. I think you just have to sit a long time to get to them. But so I am thinking of revisiting that film to see what I think of it.
I think we might have another episode here.
Or a commentary.
For better or for worse. Oh boy. MST3K, the Hulk.
Hey, you did secure us a Patreon. So maybe someday, if anyone wants us to actually do Patreon content,
it's true.
We could do commentaries.
Oh God, that'd be absolutely amazing.
That'd be great. I would love that. Just sit in a room with a microphone, talk through an entire movie. I feel like it would be hard to do a commentary because you have to talk the entire time. Like you can't do more than you can't go more than like a minute without saying anything.
I don't know if you know this, but on the regular, we talk for like an hour and a half.
Right, I know, but you have to talk about what's happening in the movie the whole time. You can't be like, so what did you read this week while Hulk is fighting Abomination or whatever,
Well, it depends on how bad
we
the movie
could.
is.
Maybe,
it also depends on how bad the movie is.
Our commentaries will just be episodes that we record while the movie is playing.
Right. Movies interject here and there during the episode. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope the Marvels is like a sleek, fast-paced, no-fat, fun action-adventure movie.
That'd be great. That's exactly what I would love.
Great. That's what I want. Hour and a half, and then like 8 minutes of credits, whatever. Like, give that to me, but not, like you said, in a way that's good. Like, not in a way that makes it feel like they're skipping over exposition, which or not giving enough like character moments and stuff, because Marvel does have a tendency to do that. So I'm hoping that those pieces are there.
Yeah.
You know, I hope there are some quieter moments or some like character moments that let us know like where Carol Danvers is personally now or emotionally, like what has happened to her since she beat the crap out of Thanos, you know, like what's going on with her and what's going on with the other characters too, but like also hit it and do it quickly and just get back to like the fun of it. You know, like I don't need this to be a perfect masterpiece movie, but if you're telling me it's an hour and a half long, then don't beat around the bush. Don't be a Secret Invasion. You know, give me something fast and sleek.
There was no bush for Secret Invasion to beat around. We've been there.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, nothing to even beat. Just a whole nothing burger.
Would you like to talk about a something burger?
I sure would, Steve. Boy, would I. This is real
something
exciting.
we're both excited about, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is real exciting.
Yeah.
So, Giancarlo Esposito.
Ever heard of him?
I sure have.
Yeah.
He was the Chicken Man in Breaking Bad. He was.
Still have not seen that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
You haven't watched Breaking Bad. Spoiler alert: he's in it.
I was gonna say I've heard he like absolutely killed it during that, but
so good.
Never got
so
there.
Good. He is Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's other stuff that I'm blanking on right now.
Better Call Saul, right?
I believe he's also in Better Call Saul because of the connection to Breaking Bad universe. I thought there was other nerdy stuff that he's in. There's one thing that I know.
Oh, he's in The Boys.
That's right. That's what I was thinking of. He's in The Boys. Yes.
Yep.
So
he was in The Usual Suspects.
Whoa, really?
Apparently
not as a major character. He's not one of the main.
I don't know
characters though.
He was in Mutant Mayhem.
That's right, and he was in Mutant Mayhem.
I now need to dive deep and figure out what the hell he was in The Usual Suspects.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I will say that he was at Comic-Con Panama this weekend. And yes, actors are on strike. They can still do appearances and things. They just can't promote things that they have done or are doing. He can't promote Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem while he's at this Comic-Con. He can just kind of talk about like his life,
right,
acting, things
stuff
like that.
He's done in the past, maybe, or whatever.
Maybe. I don't know if you can even talk about that. You might. I don't think they can even talk about like past things. But what he did say, in response to a question, this was caught on film. He was filmed at this Comic-Con answering a question and saying the following: I had been talking to James Gunn about the possibility about being in a movie, so who knows, it could happen soon. Now we know, Steve, that if he mentions he's talking to James Gunn, he's talking about being in a DC Universe film. Apparently later off camera, he said to somebody, it was reported that he said that he would rather play a hero than a villain. I think it's because he plays a lot of villains.
And he's very good at it.
Yeah, Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, Moff Gideon. And he currently is the voice of Lex Luthor in the Harley Quinn animated television show.
Really?
Yes, he's very good at that as well. So, I think a lot of people saw this and read this and immediately jumped to, oh, Lex Luthor. But he already is Lex Luthor, animated style. And, him saying he'd rather play a hero than a villain. I think if he's having these talks with James Gunn, he knows who James Gunn is talking to him about. Like, it's not just, let's think about it and we'll come back with some ideas of characters and we'll talk about it. Like, James Gunn went to him with like, I want you to play this. I want you to play this character. So they know who it is. And him saying I'd rather play a hero than a villain, I think is him telling us I'm playing a hero and I'm not playing a villain.
So who?
So who would he be? That's the question.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be like, and it's tough because they've announced a lot of projects, and James Gunn is famous for
too old to play. I'm like,
too old to play what?
I was gonna say Cyborg because they're gonna want the
Oh,
Justice
yeah,
League
yeah.
to be like younger to
Yeah.
use them.
Yeah, Cyborg's. If they do any kind of Titans, then that's where Cyborg's going to show up.
Yeah.
Is on the Titans. So yeah, he could be Cyborg's father, who creates Cyborg
True.
for sure, Cyrus Stone. But he could be like I was about to say, like James Gunn's famous for like taking like C and D list characters. So one could be someone we don't know at all, like a super bottom of the rung character, or it could be like he's also like an older guy. So I don't think he's gonna play Jon Stewart, but he might play
Oh,
he could play like any number of other Green Lanterns.
one of the
he
multitude
can
of
play like.
lanterns.
Oh, he's a bad guy though. I was gonna say he could play like Sinestro. He'd almost be a good Sinestro.
Right.
But Sinestro's good in first and then turns bad.
Mm.
So who knows how they're gonna do that?
Do they go extragalactic with him? Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, no. I guess it wouldn't be extragalactic. It'd be within our solar system. From Mars.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you for reminding me. I did see somebody online theorize that he could be Martian Manhunter. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
I think he'd be good at Martian Manhunter. But it'd be I don't know. I don't based on how he's drawn, it's hard for me to envision the like I feel like he has a very like specific facial structure. He's very like he's got like cheekbones and stuff. Like I don't know, like his features on his face are like very pronounced, I feel like.
Which is
and
funny,
the only thing I see on Manhunter
happened...
is like a brow that comes down. Like that's how I see Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, they always have that weird like the overpronounced.
Yeah.
It's weird that the only DC character I have an actual commentary on is Martian Manhunter, but
yeah. That's a good call though, Steve, because like, you know, you saying that and me having read it, you know, I don't know. You're not the only one that's out there thinking it, but that's a good call. But also like Martian Manhunter is also a shapeshifter. So there could be like times when he is just looks like himself and then he's in like prosthetics for when he actually is Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, when he reverts to form or whatever.
Martian Manhunter is like one of the go ahead.
Go for it.
I was gonna say Martian Manhunter is one of the most powerful characters in the DC universe, and he's like super underrated and underutilized, I think. Like he's like he can phase through solid objects, he's super strong, he can fly, he can read minds, and he has like telekinesis and he can shapeshift. Like
so he's like 5 of the X-Men in one.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He's an entire X-Men team.
He's Kitty Pryde, Colossus, and Xavier.
Yeah.
And
Jean Grey. Maybe he's not as and maybe he's not as strong as Superman, but like he could probably go toe to toe with Superman, and he's not vulnerable to kryptonite. He's scared of fire though, so his weakness is fire. Yeah.
I'm often scared of fire when it's out of control. I did look up in Usual Suspects.
Yes. Who is he?
So he is the FBI agent, Jack Bayer, who is opposite Chaz Palminteri and Kevin Spacey.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the Who's Kaiser Sose scene.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Deep cut. And he looks young as hell.
I bet he does.
Holy
I bet
hell.
he does. That movie came out a long time ago.
I'm looking at pictures. I'm like, really? That's him? Okay.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait to see Giancarlo Esposito in a DCU movie. And there's tons of opportunities. Like, you know, they announced like the Batman Brave and the Bold movie. Like, there's going to be so many other characters in that film, I think, just other than Batman and Robin. Like, maybe he's Commissioner Gordon.
Right.
Like, you know, that'd be great. Or, you know, they announced a Swamp Thing movie. Maybe he's a side character in Swamp Thing, or he's somebody in the Booster Gold show or something. You know, like there's so much that was announced that we know just nothing about at all. So
I mean, I don't know enough DC in general to cast him as much of anything, but
but I don't know. I think Martian Manhunter is a good call. Or he could, you know, they could do you know, if they are going to touch on like, you know, in DC, there's like this kind of like early generation of heroes where like the Justice Society, and then then Superman showed up, and that kind of gave way to what became the Justice League of America. And so there's like these older crop of heroes out there. Ted Knight, or like the Wildcat, like the original Black Canary, Our Man. So he could be like, maybe he's a Justice Society member, or maybe he is like, oh, who was I just gonna say? Maybe he's maybe he's Jay Garrick. Maybe he's like the original Flash. You know what I mean? Or he's Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, or something, like an older character. I don't know. He could be. He's a great actor. He could do anything. And I'm very excited. It seems like a thing where, if the strike hadn't happened, we would already know who he was going to play, or maybe he's going to be in Legacy. Maybe he's in Superman. We don't know if he's like, because I don't think any of those other projects are really casting right now, because they're still being written. Superman, we know, is the one that is scripted and done and casting already. So maybe he's going to be Perry White. Could be.
I still, sorry, I was going through a list of all the DC characters just to see if there's anything that jumped at me. On DC's website, which I didn't realize they just have a list of all their characters.
Yeah. It's
kind of weird, but it's like, it's weird because it's like, you think it's a lot, and then it's only 13 pages.
Yeah, I don't know if it's every single. I think it's like
it's like all the relatively major characters, but I still stand by the fact that we need some sort of adaptation of Mr. Miracle.
Oh, I know, man.
That would just be great. So perfect.
I can see them getting there. I can see them getting there.
Could you see Esposito as Constantine?
Whoa. It'd be it would be a take on Constantine.
Yeah.
He'd be
I
older.
could see him doing that gritty, like, he's not English or whatever, but like, gruff and gritty and just,
I mean, I could see it. Having, as much as I like the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie, I would prefer them to go with somebody with a haggard British accent that can really kind of deliver that that swagger,
right?
Kind of. And maybe he can do that. Maybe he could do that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard a Giancarlo Esposito English accent, but
right, exactly. Stranger things have happened.
Very true. Adam Stranger things have happened.
Adam Stranger things have happened. I hope they do that. We know Tom King is working on something, or was pre-strike,
right?
Working on a movie. So that could be an adaptation of Strange Adventures. Could be adaptation of.
Didn't we
Mr.
get a
Miracle?
confirmation Mr. Terrific was the thing?
Yeah, he's going to be in Superman Legacy.
Okay.
Played by the guy, I'm blanking on his name, but the guy that played Darwin in X-Men First Class. Remember?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going through all these, and I'm like, didn't I remember that name from somewhere?
Yeah, we're getting Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
Yes, that's what it was.
Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, and the guy whose name I'm forgetting as Mr. Terrific. Those were the ones that were in, and
right, those three were announced.
And the other guy whose name I'm forgetting as Metamorpho, he was announced like the moment before the strike.
Those were all like, those three were James Gunn tweets right before what happened.
Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, we got these four. Get excited. Talk about this for the entire time we're on strike.
Who's Signal?
Signal is a Batman sidekick, one of the many adoptees. Name that I'm blanking on, real name, Duke Thomas is his real name, and he is the only Bat family character that goes out during the day. Everyone else waits till nightfall, and he's around during the daytime, keeping the streets safe.
Right.
And I think they ended up giving him some kind of actual superpower, something about like light or something. He has like almost a precognition. He can tell what's about to happen right before it does or something.
Oh, there you
I
go.
don't know. I don't like that. I would rather him just be a vigilante like everybody else, but I don't know.
All right, I've made it through my list, so.
All right, cool.
We're good.
Moving on to just general Disney news, I guess, but Disney by way of superheroes, and in my opinion, one of the best superhero movies ever made. That's right. Talking about The Incredibles.
Mm-hmm.
The Incredibles is
You mean
returning to
the
theaters.
best Fantastic Four movie that they ever made?
Best two Fantastic Four movies that have ever been made: The Incredibles and The Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
Those are both great movies. The second one is awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
The second
and they
one
made
is very underrated. I feel like people sleep on that one.
Well, I know it made a bunch of money when it came out.
Yeah.
So it was like a success. But I feel like I just don't hear people talking about it like they should be talking about how great it is. Like, so good. And they waited like 12 years or whatever to make it. So I guess if they hadn't waited that long, then it maybe would not have been as good, but they really crushed it. I'm glad. In hindsight, I'm glad they took their time to like come up with a story that works.
Yep.
But the original, The Incredibles, returning to theaters as part of Disney's 100th anniversary celebration. Select theaters will be showing The Incredibles from September 1st, a couple days ago, through the 14th. So check out your local theater listings and see if you can go see The Incredibles on the big screen, just like I did when it was in theaters the first time. And at one point, I turned to my friend that I was with and said, "This is better than Spider-Man."
Nice.
Yeah. Other films that are getting re-releases in the last part of this year. I didn't know that Disney was doing this. Apparently, Disney had been re-releasing a lot of their movies throughout the entire year, and some of those that had already been released were the original Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Curse of the Black Pearl, Toy Story, and Beauty and the Beast.
Coincidentally, that was also the last good Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
I agree with you. And even that one, I think, is a little it's not.
It
like,
doesn't
Johnny
really
Depp
hold up on a rewatch, but
yeah, Johnny Depp, as problematic as he has become, he's great in that movie, and he's carrying that movie on his back.
100%.
His characterization of that character, like he's the reason to watch that movie.
Right.
I don't think it's not great, the rest of it. Anyway, Coco is coming out.
Great movie.
My favorite Pixar movie.
Okay. Did not know
I
that.
saw that in the theaters as well, surrounded by children, and cried my eyes out. The Lion King, the original 1994 Lion King, and Moana. All three of those movies will be out before the end of the year. So check out your local theaters to see Coco, Lion King, and Moana on big screen if you would like, and check out The Incredibles. A very, I think, smart thing. I can't think of the word. I was trying to not say thing, but it's just the only word I could think of. The old smart thing. Or I was going to say a very knowledgeable thing was noticed and pointed out to me via some social media after The Flash came out. And they showed, not only, they compared something from The Flash, like of him like running really fast, and compared to like the Quicksilver, one of the Quicksilver scenes in one of the X-Men movies, when everything's moving really, like really slow and like he's walking around. It's like he's going so fast, everything else is moving slow. And something else, maybe it was like from the Flash TV show or something like that did a similar thing. Compared it to the scene in The Incredibles where the boy Dash is running away from those machines when they're on that island. And he's running in a way where it looks like you can still see everything going past him. It's not everything's a blur. Not everything's moving in slow motion. He's moving fast, you're moving fast, and the thing he's running from is also moving fast.
Yeah.
And it's way more exciting to have everything moving at that speed than just watching somebody move in slow motion and being told that it's fast. You know what I mean? Like the Quicksilver thing, it's like, that's cool. It's like fun, but like it's more exhilarating if you can still see how fast. It's like he's moving so fast you can't even see the stuff behind. Well, then it's not as visually interesting. It's more interesting. Like that clip of Dash running on like the water and like just through the jungle and stuff is like more exhilarating than the speed scenes and like something like the Flash or like the X-Men movies.
Yeah, I would say when we saw the Quicksilver scene when it happened, that it was probably like the same effect of like, oh, they showed that and it changed how we saw that type thing.
Sure. Well, it's cool.
But I would agree with you on.
Yeah. Like that scene is different because they were specifically going for a different way to show it. And they're going for comedy in a way where he's like moving bullets and stuff. And like, that's a different thing. But in like an action scene.
Yep.
like the one in The Incredibles. It's more like visceral. If you can still, not everything's just a blur, not everything's slow motion. Like you can still see, how fast the character is moving because you're moving that fast too, and it's not so fast that the world doesn't exist anymore. Like you're just going really fast. Like
Right.
I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but like
No, I
just
think
check out that
I
clip
at least
and
get
you'll
what you're
know what
saying.
I mean.
Yeah.
Like watch The Incredibles or just watch that clip of The Incredibles and you'll be like, oh yeah, wow, this should have been how the Flash moved in the Flash.
Yeah, no, just watch The Incredibles because it was that
it's
good.
So
movie.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone's listening to this that hasn't seen The Incredibles, it's honestly one of the greatest superhero movies ever.
Yeah.
You should definitely watch it. Definitely watch Incredibles and then watch Incredibles 2 because it's also very, very good.
Yeah, overall superhero movies, top 5?
I mean, that's something that would be really hard. Making a list of favorite superhero movies in general.
It would. It really would.
Hard. This would probably be in my top 10.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't know if it would be in the top 5. It would most definitely be in the top
10. My brain would say like 7 or 8. Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds right.
I use and that's there's a plus or minus 5 on that.
Yeah.
But
because I watch movies all the time.
Right.
I have the app Letterboxd. It's like a movie logging app.
Yep.
You can like and you can rate them, say that you've watched them before. You can put them out. You can make a watch list of ones you want to watch. You can write little reviews of them. I really love it. One of my favorite things to do is that you can make little lists of movies for yourself, and you can like rank franchises or just like rank your favorite movies, or say like these are all the movies I can think of where somebody finds something creepy in their basement. Like just make little genres of movies based on similarities that they have. So I love to rank franchises, and I've often thought, oh, I should do a top 10 superhero movies thing, and I think about it for 30 seconds and I say this is too hard and I stop.
So we just got from the chat, you guys should definitely do a top 20 superhero movies podcast.
God damn it. 20 is hard. 20 is long. Like we did 11 Star Wars movies and we talked for over 2 hours. So I don't know if we could do 20. Maybe we could do 10.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do 5. But then that makes it harder to make the list if you're limiting. If it's 5, then it's harder to make that.
10 is probably a solid point of like.
I could probably do 10.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's
remember.
Tough.
I remember I did this with a friend of mine. It was via text, like we were talking and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, take a day tomorrow at this time. We're gonna text each other our top 10 superhero movies.
Yeah.
And we did. But that was like 10, maybe over 10 years ago. And the amount of additional superhero movies we've gotten since then would make that list very difficult for me to make. Very difficult for me. Like, how many Batman movies would I have on?
I mean, I'd say we would have to stick to strictly live action.
Well, then The Incredibles is not on the list.
Well, I was going to say, we have to at least add some qualifiers, or do we?
This is a conversation we should be having off mic because it's.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I may have to put the Toxic Avenger in mine. Not really, but.
Wow. Almost made me spit root beer out of my mouth. They're making a new Toxic Avenger movie, by the way.
I heard that. Yeah. That's
Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger.
Okay. That's today I learned they made a Battletoads movie.
Like recently?
No, this was 1992.
Not a live action one.
Oh no, it was a failed pilot. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because if not, I needed to see the Battletoads movie.
Yeah, big time.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because would you put both Spider-Verse movies in your top 10? Because then it makes me think
like, do we have that qualifier of like, can only one of a franchise
of a series?
make it in?
But then like one MCU movie, does the whole MCU count as a franchise?
I would say titular character. So like one Thor movie, one Captain Avenger movie, or Captain Avenger.
Why isn't there a Captain Avenger?
I don't know. There's a Krakoa event or Captain Krakoa now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't even mean just Marvel. Like someone should just make a superhero called Captain Avenger.
There's probably like there's got to be
There's
some
probably
sort of
some kind of
trademark something or other going on.
yeah, yeah, probably.
Iron Giant. Is the Iron Giant a superhero movie?
Are you just saying that off the top of your head?
No, I have a list in front of me of like superhero movies.
I literally thought 2 minutes ago when we started having this conversation, I was like, I literally in my brain thought, does the Iron Giant count? Like the Iron Giant popped into my head, and I wondered if it counted as a superhero movie.
Yeah, I was going down through the list. I'm like, huh.
I don't know if it. I love that movie so much.
It's based on a novel.
Have you seen the Iron Giant?
Yeah. It's a great movie.
It's incredible. It's an incredible movie. If you haven't seen the Iron Giant, people, watch that shit. It's so good. And there are references to Superman in it, which is why we are wondering if it counts as a superhero movie. Also, like this story in general. But that movie makes me cry straight up every time I watch it.
Yeah.
So good. All right, so maybe we should continue to figure out stipulations on how to have how to do that ranking, because that'd be fun.
We'll figure it out.
In the meantime, let's review some comics.
I guess we should. Oh, prior to that, we
okay.
did get something else in the chat from one Jesse Humiston.
Oh, what's up, Jesse?
So remember how we were talking about Giancarlo Esposito as Constantine?
I sure do.
He said Swamp Thing Green Hell Giancarlo as Constantine would be great.
I thought that because in Swamp Thing Green Hell with Steve, which you own, but I don't know if you've read yet.
No, it's still in the plastic over there.
Spoiler alert, Constantine makes an appearance, but he's older because that story takes place in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were going to do any kind of future thing, then yes, he would be good for that. I agree. Yeah, that's another thing I need to think more about. Who should he play? I got a comic to review
for next week.
That's right. Do you have a comic to review? I have a comic to review.
You want to fire it off first, or me?
I'll fire it off first. I don't have anything real in depth to say about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures Endless Summer. Have you already read this? Because you get this for your son.
It's in my pull list. So
it's okay. You haven't picked it up yet.
No.
Okay. So this is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book. I really did a terrible job enunciating that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book.
It's a Teenage Mutant book.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And from IDW. It is it's written by Dave Baker. Tango is the artist. Tango is an artist that I follow on social media, and they are really great. With inks by Alice Leclerc and colorist Zenon Hanchar. And this is great. This is clearly, it's aimed at kids, which Steve, you and I talk about all the time, how we wish there were more titles, comic book titles specifically aimed for children. There's so much that is like PG-13 and higher. But if you want the industry to continue, you need to aim more titles at kids. And this is one of them. It is clearly modeled after the late 80s, early 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon show, Steve, that you and I grew up watching. I know you know this because you read this with your son. This is and it's great. It's great. It feels very much like how I remember that show feeling. There's lots of fighting robot members of the Foot Clan. There's lots of pizza eating. And then in crazy cartoon style, they find out a way to get them to all dress like cowboys and go to a like Wild West themed park. Which, like any cartoon ends up having to come up with dumb ideas after a while. Like especially like cartoons in the 80s were like, I don't know, let's make them all cowboys for one episode. So it kind of fits into that. And it's just great. Like I don't know. It's just they think they're going on vacation to this Wild West town, and guess what? Turns out something bad is going on there, and they have to defeat Krang for some reason, and there's a big fight, and it's great. And they're all
they do. Yeah.
Of course they do. It's wisecracking. It's like classic. This isn't dark and gritty Daredevil spinoff, Eastman and Laird. This is not
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. It's not Last Ronin. This is straight up for kids. It's fun. It's wacky. It's funny. It's silly. The characters are written in those 4 different personality stereotypes that we all grew up with. And it's great. I don't know. There's like nothing objectionable about it at all. Like, it's not something that me as an adult would clamor for and be dying to read, but it was fun to read. My son loved it too. And, if you have a kid and you're trying to get more comics in their hands, throw them some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Saturday Morning Adventures is the name of the run. This issue is called Endless Summer.
Do you have a kid that you're sick of reading the same old books to day in and day out?
Yeah.
Well, go
grab
pick
a comic
that up.
book. Saturday Morning Adventures, Ninja Turtles.
And I think
mine.
we've determined that the right around 6, when they can start to learn to read themselves, so they can follow what you're reading to them in the panels.
Yeah.
That's the perfect wheelhouse, because maybe 3-4 months ago, even my son couldn't, I would literally have to point to every panel as I was reading it.
Yeah.
To know,
I still do that,
to show him where I was.
I still do that a little bit.
I think
a lot of it is out of just reflex at this point, because
Yep. So,
and early, I started reading him stuff when he was a lot younger, and I would have to add things like, "Oh, we have to go stop the Joker," Batman said. I would just have to add that so he would be able to recognize it all. Yeah. Then Batman said this.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you got this week?
Oh, I've got, as anyone following the pod knows, I decided to do the stupid thing and pick up Fall of X and pull all of those titles. However, one of the highlights so far, actually everything I've read has been pretty solid so far. The highlight that I've seen so far is Jean Grey 1. I sent Mike a couple of panels from this thing, just not to spoil anyone. I mean, the opening panel itself, or the opening page itself, is just utterly, they're doing a great job. Second page is
that's the one you say,
full panel or full page multi-panel,
2-page spread. Yeah,
it's so well done. It's well, anyone who knows anything X will know the name Louise Simonson. She's writing it. No stranger to anything or any X books. I believe, who was it? Bernard Chang on art, who is killing it. And I do want to highlight to Marcelo Maiolo, who's doing the colors on it, because the palette that's used and the hues, and it's just so well done.
Nice.
But Jean Grey has died again.
Of course.
Go figure.
What
I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, of which Jean Grey is which.
Yeah, I was asking you what her status was. I think the clip of it is on our Instagram page. If you want to find it. It's led to a pretty confusing conversation, but yeah. So
which Jean Grey is this? Yes, all of them.
So she's dead in this book?
So she died again. So this
in
is
this
her,
book or prior
this is
to?
her
prior
dying.
to. Do you get my pun? Did she die prior to this one?
No,
That's
if you want to see something about Maddie, go check out Dark X-Men, where she is leading the X-Men.
All right.
Not your normal team of X-Men.
No, I wouldn't think so.
You have very stupid Alex Summers doing very stupid Alex Summers things, because Havoc can't do anything that isn't guided by his wang. It's true.
First appearance of the word wang on the Multiverse.
That is true. That is probably true.
Anyway, Jean Grey number 1.
Jean Grey. So effectively, she's in the process of dying and is recounting this Jean Grey is, I guess, one of a future. She's a future shifted version of the all new X-Men one, their group that came back from the past to the future
Hmm.
and then went back to the past and then grew up.
Okay.
And if that confuses you, welcome to the X-Men.
I think I'm holding on.
So she's recounting what happened at one point when they went back to the past and did not wipe, quote unquote, wipe their memories like they were told to do in whatever multiverse this is currently happening
Sure.
in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of pushing towards Jean almost being slightly Machiavellian and a lot of ends justifying the means type situation.
Oh, okay.
And she's pushing the rest of the team is kind of pulling back from her, and it's kind of left at that point where she's down to only a couple of members that are still with her, and the rest kind of back with the rest of the team, and there's some tension at this point, but we'll see. We'll see what happens after that. But yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty well set up, extremely well written. Like Louise Simonson knows what she's doing. She's been around since time with the X-Men, so
Yeah.
very solid issue, and would definitely
Awesome,
recommend.
dude. Yeah, based on the artwork alone, I'd say it's worth
100%.
worth picking up for sure.
Yep.
Well, cool. This week in your local comic book store, you will find Action Comics presents the Doomsday Special #1. That's a one shot about Doomsday himself. Amazing Spider-Man 33, Bad Omens Concrete Jungle #1, Batman #137, Batman The Adventures Continue Season 3, Issue 7, Birds of Prey #1. I did not realize it was coming out so soon. The Kelly Thompson run of Birds of Prey is starting. Very excited. I can't wait to pick that book up.
You had me at
Black
Kelly
Panther. What's that?
You had me at Kelly Thompson.
Yeah, exactly. Black Panther #4, Blue Beetle #1. That character. Catwoman Uncovered #1, which is, I believe, is a one shot. Dark Knights of Steel 12 of 12, wrapping up that medieval DC Elseworlds tale. Doctor Strange #7, Fantastic Four #11, Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville #1. I thought this was a book that came out a couple of weeks ago. This is the lesser known but well loved Justice League International characters, Fire and Ice, getting their own book for the first time. People are very excited about it, and I am as well. Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons #3. It's hard to say until you realize you gotta kind of say it like a pirate. Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons. And then it makes sense. Heat Seeker Gun Honey #3. Joker the Man. I killed Steve with that pirate impression. Joker the Man Who Stopped Laughing #10. Justice Society of America #6. Kill Your Darlings #1. Magneto #2. Moon Knight #27. My Little Pony Camp Big Hoof #2. Peacemaker Tries Hard, another book that I love. Can't wait to read that. Poison Ivy #14, another book that I love. Can't wait to read that. Scarlet Witch #8. Shazam #3. Silver Surfer Rebirth Legacy 1. Spider-Gwen Annual #1. Star Trek Defiant #7. Star Wars 38. Star Wars Dark Droids #2. Superboy The Man of Tomorrow #5. And X-Men #26. Steve, besides the X-Men, you pulling any of these books? Reading anything besides 1,000 X-Men books?
No.
A
lot of X-Men.
Just
whole lot of
X-Men
X-Men
all the time.
all X-Men all the time. I mean, you saw the Turtles Stranger Things book.
Yeah.
I did in the Fall of X stuff, they did bring back Alpha Flight.
Oh yeah,
you kind of great. It's there's actually too many twists, but it's well done to bring back a classic team that hasn't gotten much love lately. So it's good to see them back in action.
Nice. Well, I'm definitely pulling that Birds of Prey #1.
Yeah.
Jesse, if you're still in the chat, hook me up with Birds of Prey #1.
I guess throw that in both of ours, because why the hell not?
Yeah, why not? Also, I'm going to grab Peacemaker Tries Hard #5, because it's only a 6-issue run, and I've just loved every issue of it. Has been excellent.
I was going to say, you've hit the whole run there.
I know, yeah. It's just so funny and so smart and fun and violent and great. I know I keep saying I'm trying to like pull back on buying single issues, but like Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville, like they just had a big part in the Human Target series that I just read, the Tom King, Greg Smallwood. So that makes me want to buy that too. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's
But
Silver Surfer Rebirth.
Yeah.
Ron Mars written.
Oh
So,
wow.
That yeah.
That might be it.
And Ron Lim on pencils. So yeah, Jesse, you want to throw that on mine since we're he did say he got you on the other. So
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
I at least know we can speak to our pull lists on this show
All right.
and have them show up in our box.
Nice thing about being sponsored, a little perk.
Yeah,
A little bit of
comes
perk.
in handy.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we don't have any one shots because again, that was a bit of a light week, but I do think we filled at least an hour.
We did an hour and 10 minutes because
Hooray!
That's somehow how we do things.
Yeah, you know why, Steve? Because we're good at this. That's
there
how
you go.
we're good at this. And but I think that's all we got. Unless you got anything else.
No, I think that's about it. I'd say we should tell people though to feel free to like and subscribe on your podcast player of choice. Apple Podcast reviews and ratings are appreciated. Same thing on YouTube. Feel free to like, subscribe, ring the bell to know when we're going live. Usually it's going to be 9:30 on any Sunday night. This weekend or this week's a little funky. We'll also be getting back-to-back podcasts. Seeing tomorrow is the episode 4 debut of Ahsoka, a show that both Mike and I are absolutely loving. So we'll be talking to you guys within 24 hours and check us out wherever you can.
Yeah, I was just thank you for saying that because I was wondering if we were still planning on doing a Tuesday reaction, and I think I'm free, so good to go. And yeah, check us out. Yeah, like you said earlier, the Multiverse Report on Instagram, Multiverse Report on Facebook, although we don't use that quite as much. And I think I'm going to create a Blue Sky page for us because why not?
Yeah, I've got a spare invite too. So if
Yeah,
anyone
really
out here wants a Blue Sky invite, feel free to hit me up.
Hey, I got a couple too. I feel like I can't give them away, but it's better than Twitter, guys. I don't know. Twitter is just on fire, and I hate even being there. But anyway, yeah, that's all we got until tomorrow night when we're back with Ahsoka. So until then, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the multiverse.